Astrid, clearly this is a very important issue, but why should people care about this right now when you have wars and conflicts, human suffering of unimaginable proportions, economic uncertainty, and now this?
Well, for the very reasons that you have mentioned. So biodiversity and nature underpins our societies, our well-being. Nature provides us with food, with recreation, with medicines, with fresh water, with climate regulation, all these services that we need to live on this planet. And to live in harmony with nature is therefore an overall objective that in a way transcends all the crises that we also have to face and interlinks with these crises.
So how much are we, humans, directly to blame for this crisis?
Well, this is both the good and the bad news. Humans are driving this crisis, and that means it's also up to us to change it. And in the international system, we have advanced really a lot. We have our whole tool set together. We have international commitments. We have a monitoring system. We know how to implement these commitments nationally. We know how to do it in terms of bringing all people together. We call that a whole of society approach, working across governments. So all that is there and all that is underpinned with unequivocal science that tells us that we have to act with a sense of urgency, because the longer we wait, the more we move towards dangerous tipping points and the more expensive it will be to address these issues.
So are you getting the sense that countries and governments around the world are acting with a sense of urgency?
Very much so, but still, we need to accelerate more. We are approaching already the midpoint of our set of targets. These are the targets of the Kunming-Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework that have to be achieved by 2030. And we see countries around the world now put in place global biodiversity strategies and action plans to implement them, to put in place national targets, to have societal dialogues, how this can be done better. But we need to accelerate all of that because 2030 is really just around the corner. But there's a lot of political willingness and a lot of, let's say, meeting of minds globally, because even at a time, as you mentioned, the international community is facing difficulties, yet they all come together around these objectives, and they've come together to develop shared strategies, for example, for mobilization of finance, a shared understanding how to monitor. So there's a lot to be optimistic about.
So at this rate, Astrid, what will the future look like for tropical rainforests, coral reefs, islands like Madagascar, areas that are so rich in biodiversity? What does the future look like if there's no action?
Not bright, to say the least. So as you've been saying yourself, if we do not curb the loss of biodiversity, and together with it, if we do not curb climate change and bring pollution under control, we will see these ecosystems progressively disappear, and with them the services they render to humanity. And that will have staggering consequences, not just economically, but also in terms of peace and security.
And finally, Astrid, how can we better integrate biodiversity conservation into urban development, agriculture, things that are so important?
Yeah, that is the million-dollar question. That is really the crux of what we're now working on. So integrating biodiversity conservations, in particular into spatial planning, means that environment ministries need to work together with agriculture ministries, with planning ministries, and also with the people caring about energy use, water, climate change. And it needs to be one comprehensive debate in which the role of nature as underpinning our well-being and economies is fully recognized, and nature is treated accordingly.
All right, we'll have to leave it there. Astrid Schomaker, thank you so much.